One of the most common questions I get asked as a real estate agent is how is the market? Whether it's from somebody who's looking to sell their house, thinking about buying a house, or if they're just generally curious what's happening with their largest asset, how is the market is a question I get asked pretty much every single day. So in this video, I wanted to break down exactly what is happening in the real estate market in November of 2024, specifically on the Space Coast of Florida. We're going to break down some statistics about what's happening in the market and then talk a little bit about what that looks like if you're thinking about selling your house or you're thinking about buying a house. But without any further ado, let's get right into it. Just like anything with finances, the real estate market is affected by supply and demand. This time last year, there were barely over 4,000 houses listed on our market, and now there's almost 5,300. So that's a pretty big uptick in supply. Demand has actually gone down a little bit, with the number of closed listings year to date being down just over 5% from where it had been this time last year. So anybody who's passed an economics class would tell you supply being up and demand being down would mean prices go down, right? Prices have actually gone up a little bit. The average sales price from last year to this year has gone up 5.4%. So then what's happened? Well, people don't live on a spreadsheet, right? If this was one company who was selling one product, the natural reaction is that they would lower the price so that they could get the most number of sales possible. But due to the overall strength of the economy, most people who are selling their house are not in a position where they have to sell their house. They have other options. Some people might have rented their house out instead or decided, hey, you know what, I'm just going to keep this house if I can't get the price I want for it. There's also plenty of people who are taking their house off the market, doing the renovations necessary, and then putting it back on the market so that they can get the price that they were looking for. Unless you're actively thinking about selling your house or actively thinking about buying a house, more likely than not, the most important thing to you is the value of the house that you already own. The good news is that the median price is now $360,000 and the average sales price is just under $456,000, both of which are higher than they were this time last year. If you want a specific value to your house, text me your address and what updates you've done since you bought it, and I'm happy to put together an individual valuation for you. Everything else I want to talk about is if you are specifically thinking about selling your house or are specifically thinking about buying a house. We're going to go ahead and start with selling your house. There's some important statistics that matter outside of price, mainly the number of days on market. What we've seen happen is, even though prices have gone up, because of the increase of supply and the slight decrease in demand, the number of days on market has gone up quite considerably. Increasing by over 25% is the amount of time it takes for you to market your house and find a buyer for your specific house. Most everything I've been talking to could be applied to pretty much all of 2024, except the following. October was the third month in a row with less sales than the prior month. So October had less sales than September, September had less sales than August, and August had less sales than July. What does that look like for you as the consumer? It means that who you hire as an agent matters now more than ever. If there are less buyers closing each month, yes, there's less new listings, and so that helps with your competition. Although how you're marketing your property and how you're pricing your property matters even more when there are 5,300 listings on the market and only 900 of those are going to close. You want to make sure that the house that you're selling is one of those 900. Now, some of these numbers can sound discouraging if you're buying a house, because even though there's more supply and there's less demand or about the same amount of demand, prices are up. So you might be hearing this video and saying, okay, well, I was going to buy a house, and now that I know that it's more expensive, I'll just wait for prices to come down. The reality is that every single year for the last 16 years, the prices of homes have been higher than they were the previous year. And so sitting on the sidelines and hoping that prices are going to come down might not necessarily be the strategy for you. What matters a lot more to most buyers is the interest rate that they're purchasing at, because that sets their monthly payment and it determines how affordable a house is to them. While I could tell you about different changes that have happened, the Fed lowering the interest rate or anything else, really, interest rates are a very unique position to each individual buyer. You're going to make a loan application, and based on your specific income, your specific debt, your specific credit, and everything else unique to you, you're going to get qualified at some certain interest rate. We can do things to be creative, like offering a listing full price when we might be able to get it for $10,000 less, and then having the sellers pay $10,000 to lower your interest rate. So it's a very unique situation. The one statistic I want to share about the average for the real estate market that's going to help buyers is months of inventory. Months of inventory is the number of listings that are currently on the market divided by the number of listings that are currently selling per month. Last month it was 4.69 months of inventory. That is the highest it has been since 2018. That means that you have more choices than you ever have. So even if prices haven't come down, you have a lot more selection. Thanks for taking the time to learn about the real estate market here on the Space Coast. If you're ready to get the process started in selling your home or buying a house, text me and we'll set up a time to meet. Have a great day.